Do you think there's only one type of bullet? Wrong. There are bullets that even humans wouldn't dare use. 1. Tracer ammunition, shot to be seen, not just to kill. Tracer rounds are among the strangest types of ammunition ever created, not because of how they hit, but because of how they look. Unlike regular bullets, tracer ammunition contains a small pyrotechnic charge at the base. When fired, this compound ignites and burns brightly, creating a visible streak of light that shows the bullet's trajectory through the air. Originally, tracers were designed to help soldiers see where their shots were going, especially at night or over long distances. They allowed machine gunners to correct their aim in real time and helped units coordinate fire during chaotic battles. But here's the paradox: what helps you aim also reveals your position. In darkness, tracer fire can act like a glowing arrow pointing straight back to the shooter. For this reason, tracers were often mixed sparingly with regular rounds, useful, but dangerous if overused. Fun fact: many soldiers feared tracer rounds more psychologically than physically. Seeing glowing bullets flying toward you could break morale long before any bullet made contact. Tracer ammunition proves one thing clearly: sometimes, visibility itself is a weapon. 2. Explosive bullets, impact means detonation. Explosive bullets were never meant to behave like ordinary ammunition. Instead of relying purely on speed and penetration, these rounds were designed to detonate the moment they struck a target. Inside the bullet was a tiny explosive charge, triggered by impact, transforming a single hit into a miniature explosion. These bullets were not intended for infantry combat. Historically, they were developed to disable equipment, damage aircraft components, or destroy lightly armored targets. Against machines, a small internal explosion could be far more effective than a simple hole punched through metal. What made explosive bullets truly unsettling was their unpredictability. A round that explodes on contact leaves no chance for overpenetration; it releases all its energy instantly. Because of the extreme injuries they could cause to human targets, their use against personnel was widely condemned and later restricted under international law. Fun fact: early explosive bullets were sometimes unreliable, detonating too early, or not at all, making them as dangerous to the user as to the target. Explosive bullets are a reminder that ammunition isn't always designed to travel far; sometimes, it's designed to end everything at the moment of impact. 3. Armor-piercing rounds, bullets designed to defeat metal. Armor-piercing ammunition exists for one simple reason: some targets are too hard for normal bullets. Unlike standard rounds made mostly of lead, armor-piercing bullets contain an extremely hard core, often made from steel or tungsten, surrounded by a softer outer jacket. When fired, the jacket stabilizes the bullet, while the dense core does the real work on impact. Instead of flattening or breaking apart, the core concentrates all its energy into a tiny point, allowing the bullet to punch through metal, concrete, or vehicle armor. These rounds were developed primarily to counter armored vehicles, fortified positions, and later, lightly armored aircraft. What makes armor-piercing rounds unsettling is how little they change after impact. In some cases, the bullet passes straight through a target with minimal deformation, retaining enough energy to remain lethal beyond it. Fun fact: many early tank crews feared armor-piercing fire not because of explosions, but because shattered metal fragments inside the vehicle could turn the interior into a storm of lethal shrapnel. Armor-piercing ammunition proves that sometimes, the deadliest effect isn't the bullet itself, but what it creates after penetration. 4. Dum-dum bullets, the ammunition the world rejected. Dum-dum bullets were designed with a disturbing purpose: to expand on impact. Unlike full metal jacket rounds, these bullets have exposed or hollow tips that deform when they hit a target, dramatically increasing their diameter. Instead of passing through, they transfer most of their energy inside the body. From a purely mechanical perspective, dum-dum rounds were highly effective. Expansion meant greater stopping power and a reduced chance of overpenetration. However, this same feature caused severe and catastrophic injuries, far beyond what conventional ammunition produced. The international backlash was swift. At the end of the 19th century, dum-dum bullets became one of the first types of ammunition to be formally condemned, leading to their prohibition under the Hague Convention. They were considered inhumane, not because they were inaccurate or inefficient, but because they caused unnecessary suffering. Fun fact: despite being banned in warfare, expanding bullets are still commonly used in law enforcement and hunting, where overpenetration poses serious risks to bystanders. Dum-dum ammunition stands as a rare example of technology deemed too effective, and too cruel, to be accepted on the battlefield. 5. Chemical and poisoned bullets, ideas that cross the line. Chemical and poisoned bullets represent one of the darkest paths ammunition development ever considered. Instead of relying on kinetic force, these rounds were designed to deliver toxic substances directly into the target. In theory, even a minor wound could become fatal if the bullet carried poison or chemical agents. Throughout history, several militaries experimented with this concept, especially during periods when chemical warfare was actively explored. Some designs involved hollow bullets filled with toxins, while others coated the projectile with poisonous compounds. However, the idea quickly proved impractical and horrifying. Poisoned bullets were unreliable, dangerous to handle, and nearly impossible to control. More importantly, they violated emerging ethical and legal standards of warfare. As international conventions began banning chemical weapons, these rounds were pushed out of development almost entirely. Fun fact: most chemical bullet projects never left the prototype stage, existing only in classified documents or abandoned test programs. Chemical and poisoned bullets remind us that not every technological possibility should be pursued. Some ideas don't fail because they don't work, they fail because humanity decides they shouldn't exist. 6. Frangible rounds, bullets designed to disappear. Frangible ammunition is strange not because of what it destroys, but because of what it doesn't leave behind. These bullets are engineered to break apart into tiny fragments the moment they strike a hard surface. Instead of penetrating or ricocheting, they effectively destroy themselves. Typically made from compressed metal powders rather than solid lead or steel, frangible rounds are designed for controlled environments such as training facilities, close-quarters operations, and aircraft security. Their main purpose is safety, reducing the risk of dangerous ricochets and unintended penetration. What makes frangible bullets especially unusual is their behavior on impact. Against steel or concrete, they turn into dust-like particles almost instantly. Against softer targets, they may fragment rapidly, transferring energy without exiting the target. Fun fact: frangible ammunition is often used inside shooting ranges because it significantly lowers the risk of bullet fragments bouncing back toward the shooter. Frangible rounds prove that some ammunition is designed not to survive the shot, because sometimes, the safest bullet is the one that destroys itself. 7. Subsonic and silenced rounds, when speed is the enemy. Most people assume faster bullets are always better. Subsonic ammunition challenges that idea completely. These rounds are intentionally designed to travel below the speed of sound, eliminating the sharp sonic crack that normally gives away a shooter's position. Subsonic bullets are often paired with suppressors, creating a combination focused on stealth rather than power. Instead of a loud explosion, the sound is reduced to a dull mechanical noise, sometimes quieter than the impact itself. This makes them ideal for specialized operations where remaining undetected matters more than range or penetration. The trade-off is clear: lower speed means reduced effective distance and ballistic drop. But in close-range scenarios, subsonic rounds excel at controlled, precise engagements. Fun fact: even with a suppressor, a normal bullet is still loud because of its sonic boom. Only subsonic ammunition can truly minimize that signature. Subsonic ammunition proves that in warfare, silence can be more powerful than speed, and sometimes the deadliest advantage is never being heard at all. 8. Large-caliber anti-materiel rounds, bullets that target machines. Anti-materiel ammunition was never designed with human targets in mind. These large-caliber rounds exist to destroy equipment, vehicles, and infrastructure, not people. Fired from heavy rifles or cannons, they deliver enormous kinetic energy capable of disabling radar systems, engines, aircraft, or lightly armored vehicles. Calibers such as .50 BMG or even larger were developed to extend the reach of ground forces against high-value targets. A single well-placed shot could render expensive military hardware useless, achieving strategic impact without direct confrontation. What makes these rounds unsettling is the sheer imbalance they represent. A relatively small projectile, fired from long range, can neutralize equipment worth millions of dollars. The bullet doesn't explode, it simply overwhelms its target with raw energy and mass. Fun fact, some anti-materiel rounds retain enough power after impact to damage multiple components in sequence, turning one shot into a chain reaction of failures. Anti-materiel ammunition illustrates a brutal truth of modern warfare. Sometimes, the most effective way to win isn't to eliminate soldiers, but to silence the machines they depend on.